Ooh, welcome, man. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Real quick. 2014, I don't know, 2015 Caravan. Hesitating, all right, when driving. Guys, you gotta, now, they seem to think it's transmission related. That's probably likely why I got it, but it don't matter. Don't matter what the problem is. I'm gonna figure it out. That's why I highly suggest you newbies coming into the industry or you aspiring mechanics, try to learn the complete car, guys. This car could very well have drivability issues, meaning spark plugs and things like that, but because there's a doubt in the service guy mind and the customer that it could be transmission, I have it. So, which means the guy that specializes in drivability now sitting around twiddling his thumb. He may not have nothing to do. So I highly suggest you learn the complete car that will broaden your knowledge base, and you will stay busy, number one. Number two, they both go together. Transmission and engine performance, they tie together hand in hand. So it makes no sense to learn one over the other. All right, but anyway, I don't know what's wrong with this car, okay? The transmission the transmission module, that is, pretty good about monitoring the transmission operation and storing a fault code in the event that it sees a problem. So is the engine, all right? The engine performance, the PCM. Guys, this car only has one module, a PCM. The transmission functions are now being, it's the responsibility of the PCM. It's a TCM and a PCM all in one box. NGC, next generation controller. It's all one computer, okay? But we call it a PCM. But they're all in the same box. So my job here is to find out why it's hesitating while you're driving, okay? I feel it's safe. Guys, y'all know I'm very weary about test driving cars with complaints such as this. I do not want to be stranded. Yes, it has happened. What I'm going to do first while I'm sitting here is I got the car in gear, feet on the brake, feet on the gas. I'm just going to bog it down. That's what I'm doing. All I'm doing here, guys, is simulating a load. I do not feel any misfire, which means in some cases you can cancel secondary ignition being your problem. What I mean by secondary ignition is, plugs, wires, things like that. As far as misfire, when a customer say a car is hesitating, it's a bigger window, guys. That a misfire could be, included in that word hesitation. So you, on the other hand, got to find out. You got to pull it out of the customer as to what is exactly wrong. In some cases, I have to personally talk to the customer because the guy that write the car up can't get it out of him. But I need to know this thing. That's why a test drive is so valuable, guys. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna film. I don't have my headgear, so I'm not gonna film while I'm driving. But we're gonna discuss this situation when I get back, guys. So let's go on a test drive. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna find out what's wrong with this thing, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys. I am back off my test drive. Let's go over a few things, guys, because this is very important. On my test drive, it was revealed that I likely do not have a drivability issue. The complaint is hesitation, right? So between third and fourth gear, right around 40 miles an hour, there's a shudder. It feels like a misfire, right? So again, there could be a possibility that it is a misfire, but I'm under load, so I get on a hill and try to drive at that same speed on that hill, which is basically a load. Whoa. So I'm convinced the hesitation that they referring to is actually vibration, a shudder, so to speak. It could be a torque converter shudder. Now, like I said earlier, guys, this transmission pretty good about setting fault codes when there's a problem. But a torque converter shudder is what we used to call it back in the day. Now, you got to also keep in mind the torque converter is designed to lock up at, I don't know, between 38 and 45. Lockup occurs when you at a constant speed. The pedal is constant Okay, basically you're bringing RPM down a little lower at a higher speed. Okay, all of this is due to emissions. They're trying to keep emissions low. So I can explain lockup in a whole nother video, but for now, let's get through this. So what I'm about to do now is scan this thing for any trans. There's no check engine lights. All right, so I'm gonna scan. There could be code stored in the memory of the PCM or the TCM. So I'm gonna check that. And I'm also going to go through the normal procedure, checking my trans fluid. And one other thing, I'm going to let this transmission or this vehicle up and look at that pan, guys. We're at 129,000 miles. Y'all know this transmission is designed to be serviced right at 60,000 miles. Every 60,000 miles, it is recommended that you drop that pan, replace that filter, put that pan back on, go in with ATF plus 4. This vehicle is equipped with a 6-speed automatic transmission known as the 62TE. Alright, so I don't know if any of that's been done, but for now I'm going to go straight to the computer. You know what? Y'all can come along with me, man. Let's get it. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Yes, guys, I was wrong. This is a 2018 Caravan. And to my surprise, guys, there is no fault codes in the PCM. All right, so the controller didn't pick up anything as it relates to engine performance or transmission shifting. All right, but don't stop there, guys. Don't be discouraged, because just because there's no code does not mean there's no problem. Now I'm gonna go over to the car. First thing we're gonna do is check the fluid condition. I want to see the fluid. I want to see the color. I want to see the condition, because that would give me a nice good indication of what we up against. Okay, so once I get a sense of the fluid, we're gonna let this car in the air. Here's the big determining factor right here. Remember, guys, like I said in the car, this car has almost 130K. I want to see have that pan been off. All right, I want to see if the pan has been off. Chances are somebody replaced the filter. There's also a chance that somebody didn't replace the filter. Now, you don't typically replace the filter when you're doing a trans flush, but I'm interested to see if the pan been off. That would let me know if the service have been done. Remember, guys, trans service is recommended every 60K, okay, on this 62TE. And to my surprise, guys, ooh, righty, guys, let's take a look at this pan, see if my suspicious is true. Guys, it is. Can you look at this? This is the original seal from the factory. All right, I'm very aware how factory seal look. All right, this pan, in other words, this pan has never been off. 130,000 miles, guys. Okay, this is a factory seal. The pan have never been off, so there's no way to replace the filter if the pan has never been off. All right, now you can do flushes with the pan on. In fact, that's how they're done. But this is a TE transmission, guys. You have to get in there and get that filter, guys. This torque converter in here, torque converter has clutches inside of it. And over time, just like any other part, it will wear. All right, clutch debris may have clogged up this filter and ruined this transmission by now. Okay, I'm exhibiting a torque converter shutter. All right, so which begs the question, guys. I get this all the time. People always neglect their transmission services. Either that or they don't know. I'm not sure which one. I'm not going to dog the customer out because I don't know them. But I will say this played a contributing role to this transmission early failure. Which brings on another question. Is that considered early failures? 120,000 miles early. Yes and no, guys. I've seen them last longer. I've seen them last shorter. It all depends on the driving and the components inside the transmission. But I want to go out on a limb and say, yes, this is a major contributing factor to this transmission early depth. All right, and what I mean by depth is I can't fix this. It can be fixed. If this was my car, yes, I would fix it by way of parts, a torque converter, front pump, overhaul kit, and fluid, things like that. But in this facility, they won't let us fix it. Okay, so if we was at Brothers Motors, yeah, I would write up a repair for this. And depending on the estimate of their repair, if it's too high, I will be right back to square one, which is recommending that we replace it. All right, so if you didn't get anything out of this video, please get this. Transmission, most cars, especially this Caravan with a 62 TE in it, every 60,000 miles, drop this pan, replace that filter, and go in with ATF plus 4. All right, guys, I cannot overemphasize that importance. All right, never been off. That is a factory seal. And I know how factory seal look. So, guys, that's all I have, man. I have to replace the transmission unit. Okay. Now, the fluid was kind of burnt, so I'm going to reverse flush the cooler. Remember, guys, the cooler play an important role of the transmission staying cool. That's what it's there for. It's in place for that. So if any trash got in there, y'all saw the fluid, right? The fluid was extremely, I'll pull another clip of the fluid right here, a closer view. This fluid was extremely dirty. All right, so yes, the problem in this whole complete car as far as the hesitation complaints and all that, problems in the transmission. And I found that by way of test driving it and analyzing and fault code reading and things like that. There was no fault codes. However, I can feel where the hesitation is coming from during my test drive, and it's confirmed it's the transmission. And now that I see the fluid burnt and this, yes, I feel confident about my diagnosis. I'm going to write up a transmission, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.